Welcome to Vision Plus, a program featuring a positive outlook, dealing with everyday situations of marriage, children, and business. Believing Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Teacher, author, speaker, delighting audiences from New York to Sacramento with a heart and message for the people today. Bonnie would like to remind you of the 800 number on the screen. Please feel free to call at any time throughout the broadcast and share your concerns. Leave your prayer request and someone will pray with you. And now, teacher, author, and speaker, Bonnie.
Distinct pleasure of introducing to you someone that a lot of you already know. But I just want to mention one of the new books, and again, last week you heard about Born Again Marriage, how the Lord had put our marriage back together. This one is called Mission Possible. It's an anthology about several of us in the National Speakers Association that the Lord has blessed work together. The Yahoo guy, and just a lot of them, so you'll enjoy that. And a new version of Emily, our daughter that was a Russian interpreter, that is now home with the Lord. It's called Emily, and it's a bigger version of, it tells more about her work in the former Soviet Union and her desire to go to the Soviet Union, and it's called Emily, if you'd like to have that. And we have another series that you haven't heard about, and it's the 4 Seasons of Life. It has spring, that says autumn. I guess I don't have it in order. And summer, maybe I don't know, this is winter, and then I'm getting this is the Born Again Marriage, I didn't know it was in here. And also, this one is summer. So if you would like to have any of these books, if you want to donate any money to the Vision Plus Television, which is a nonprofit organization, we'll be happy to have it. Another book that we have is called The Dream Makers of Arkansas. It's about the people from Arkansas that started, I can't believe it's not yogurt or whatever it is. What's the name of that, Tony? But also the companies like Walmart that started there, and Dillard's that started there, and a lot of companies that started. And this is about some of the people in the state of Arkansas. And, sir?
Can't believe it's not ice cream.
Can't believe it's not ice cream, or whatever the name of it is. It's a good one. Born Again Marriage is still available. Now you can download all of these from the website, which you see running across the bottom of the screen, www.drbonniel.com. Now the person I want you to meet now is one that I had heard about so many times, and we were trying to work this out. I was available one time, he was available one time, and I was out of when my brother passed and in Chattanooga. So we finally connected. He brought a sweet, beautiful 10-year-old Cassie with him, and 4th grader, and she is promising not to giggle because Tony didn't want her to. But we're going to talk about the Huntsville Inner City Learning Center. And so first of all, welcome, Art, Leslie.
Thank you.
And I see Art he looks like he has a dozen children with him, but now Tom McKee is helping you with them.
Yes.
He said you are his very best friend. So I thought that was good. And Deborah Berry told me about you also. So I just hear about you from a lot of sources. And you always have a smile on your face. And I also see some things you do with the young people you bring with you. Get control of yourself. So he might have a smile on his face, but you better not cross him. And he and I are both former people that had domestic difficulties, but the Lord takes us. He didn't say it came to stay, it came so that we could get through it all. I love that. Okay, I want to find out about this Huntsville Inner City Learning Center. So start out with, how did you get involved in it?
Well, my wife Cynthia and I, in 2005, were working with an inner city church. And one Wednesday night, she was unable to teach her Bible class. She was teaching some girls, middle school through high school. And she asked me to step in and to teach that class for her. And I did, and when I got home that evening, I ran to her and I told her, I said, you know, these girls can't read. They're in middle school and high school, and they literally can't read. And she told me,
Yeah, you need to project for the camera.
right.
You can talk to me, but just
Okay.
project,
All right.
because we're having little tiny bit
No
of
problem.
this unpetite challenge.
I can talk loud.
All right, I bet Cassie can. He can, can't you, Cassie?
But anyway, she told me, she said, I've been trying to tell you that for months, that there's a challenge with our kids reading. So I went to volunteer at Stone Middle School
Okay.
as a tutor and a mentor, and Stone already had a program in place. So I went in and met some really wonderful, dedicated teachers, got involved with the tutoring and mentoring program at Stone. The program was set up where there was one adult per child, but there were so many children that needed assistance in math and reading till I had 8 kids that I was working with.
Uh-oh. That's
And
not exactly one-to-one, is it?
no, it really isn't.
Well, you can usually take care of other people at a time, but this was a challenge, wasn't it?
You know, it really was. And as an outgrowth of that, realizing the huge challenge and the huge issue that there was in the inner city with children and education, we began to explore and to find out some facts. And some of the facts that we discovered was that in the inner city community of Huntsville, and we're talking about Butler Terrace, Council Court, Searcy Homes, L.R. Patton, Brookside, Norwood, and all the other housing projects in Huntsville, we discovered that over half of the young males who live in inner city communities in Huntsville never graduate from high school.
Oop.
So out of every 10 young men that begin middle school, half of them never make it to their high school graduation. They drop out. The numbers are a bit better for females within the inner city. It's about 6 out of 10 graduate. So 4 out of every 10 young ladies who live in the inner city don't graduate from high school. And we decided that we really had to do something about that. So we began soliciting volunteers, tutors, and mentors. And in 2006, we began our Huntsville Inner City Learning Center. We worked with about 40 plus children that first year, and we discovered that children who had a real negative outlook on school began to enjoy school because they began to have successes. What we learned, Bonnie, is that children in the inner city community are just as adept at learning as those who live outside of the inner city. The challenge is that these children don't have, for the most part, individuals to encourage, to support them, and to give them a barometer and to give them examples of what an education can do for you. So when these children began to have individuals 4 days a week, our program was Monday through Thursday, began to have individuals helping them with their homework and helping them to be successful in school, they began to experience success. And so school became something that they saw themselves achieving. So the kids that we had went on and continued to be successful.
Why do you think that they would continue to pass them from grade to grade if they didn't know how to read? That's so basic to geography and history and English and everything that we do. Writing out a check when they get grown and they have a checking account from their job they're going to get.
Well, that's a great question, and it's a question that I get asked a lot. How are these children being passed from grade to grade to grade? You know, I think we have to understand that our schools are really challenged. Teachers, it's not an issue with our teachers. What some of the facts tell us that 70% of the children who attend school from the inner city, once again now, never complete their homework. So the educational process, while it goes on from 7:30 in the morning to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the process stops at that time. Now for your children, my children, your grandchildren, and my grandchildren, we became engaged with our children after school. You know, when my kids came home from school, there was a regimen that they went through. And they have a father and a mother who went on through high school and college. So we knew how important an education was. We could set the example for our children. Well, a lot of the children in the inner city have parents who also never graduated from high school. So the educational process stopped at 3 o'clock. And when these children came back to schools, our teachers are challenged once again with picking up where they left off and having to be repetitive over and over again. So it's not that the children can't read, it's that they weren't reading at the grade level that they were in. As a matter of fact, a sixth grader in Huntsville in the inner city schools, on average is reading at about a third or at best a fourth grade level. So our kids from the inner city are behind. But once again, when we give them the tools and the support to be successful, they are as successful as any other child. It's not that they're not capable. It's not that they don't have the desire to be successful. It's just that our kids are handicapped by not having that additional support that they need. And that's
So
what
what are some of the solutions? You know, I was working on my doctorate and went to Washington, D.C. and met with some of the congressmen, and this when Clinton was president, and one of the things they were doing was trying to help the people, and they found out that if they had help in the arsenic hours of 3:30 to 6:30, many times single parents or people that are not there for them, whether it's a single parent home or the parents, like I was helping in schools here in Huntsville, and some of the, not any of the schools you mentioned, but some of the, quote, better schools that, they weren't doing their homework and weren't coming to school, and so we would have a meeting with the parents, and the parents would come in stoned. And so, you know, they were, how could the child learn if the parent was not an example for them? So some of the things they said is we have got to have some faith. $200 million, that doesn't sound like a lot when we hear about these trillions of dollars, but it was enough money to find out in this study that we have got to have some faith-based training after school, the 3:30 mark is over. So what are some of the things that we could do? Number one, you could have gotten you would like to have 7 more people to help you. Sure. If you've got 8 people to one mentor or instructor or person to be their friend and help them with their homework after 3:30 in the afternoon, so more people could volunteer to do that. What are some other solutions? I know we have the Boys and Girls Clubs and we have the many great programs, but what is the answer for all of these inner city people? I know you got the Huntsville Inner City Learning Center, but tell us what all you're doing or what we can do more. Got to speak louder, Tony's telling us.
All right, well, first of all, this is a very, very complex and huge issue. There are no simple answers. There's not one answer. And the Huntsville Inner City Learning Center is just one of the groups that are involved and engaged in the inner city and in the educational process in Huntsville. Our program starts when school ends. This year, it will be at West Lawn Middle School. Last year, we were at Stone Middle School. So what we will do is we will keep the kids from West Lawn. We'll be transporting elementary kids from Morris over to West Lawn, and we'll start when school ends. We'll have a social period of about 45 minutes with the children, because a lot of our kids have not been given the opportunity to hone and to sharpen their social skills. So one of the challenges for our children is learning to operate within a group, learning to be supportive of each other, and learning to model behavior outside of the home and outside of school. So we spend a good bit of time, 45 minutes every day, on putting our kids into situations and bringing individuals in to help our kids to understand what's acceptable in terms of etiquette and in terms of being a part of a group. We also have learned that it's very important for our young people to have a good, healthy meal. So from 4 o'clock until 4:30, we provide our children with a good, well-balanced meal. And they can go back as many times as they want to.
I want to go to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
but where's that money come from? Where's the food come from?
Well, we've been very, very blessed. The Lowe Foundation, the Jane Lowe Foundation, found our program to be one that they could support, and they gave us $100,000 to
For food
support the program over a 2 or 3 year period of time. Now, that $100,000 is already accounted for, and we need more things, but we are.
But that was a start,
Yeah.
and people can help.
And once again, we're a
That's some of my
501c3.
ancestors, so I'm glad to hear that.
Absolutely, and we're a 501c3, so
People can donate
people
and get
can
it.
donate, and they can get their tax
Yeah,
write-off for that.
that's
So,
good.
so we feed them a hot meal, and then from 4:30 until 5:30, we have individuals that come in to work with our children one-on-one.
Wow.
So we help them to make sure that their homework is finished, because once again, 70% of our children don't complete their homework.
Do you think that we also, would it help if they didn't have so much homework?
No, that isn't a problem. Believe me, I worked at Stone last year, and I'm working at Morris this year, and I can attest, as a person who is within the schools on a daily basis during the entire course of the day, our children are not overtaxed with homework. They aren't. The problem is, I'm quite sure you and your husband have a computer, you're hooked up to the internet here in your home, correct? So am I. The vast majority of the children in the inner city community don't have that privilege, and that is a privilege. That is a benefit. They don't have that. Your children and your grandchildren benefited from an educated parent and grandparent who is capable of helping them with their homework. Once again, 70% of our children go home to a parent that did not graduate from high school. Keep in mind, 95% of the children in the inner city community go home to a single parent. So the ability to have the resources necessary to be successful and to conduct and to get finished with homework is not there. To have individuals in the home who can assist them with their homework is not there. And keep in mind, once again, our children in the inner city have, for the most part, not been able to see model behaviors of what a successful educational experience can do for you as an adult. They haven't seen
Would it
that.
help if they had more computers there where you're training?
Absolutely, but that's just a stopgap measure. What we have to do is we have to have more of our community, more individuals within our community understand that these are our children. Look, I work with, every Sunday I bring between 12 and 20 young people to church with me every Sunday. None of them are mine. None of them are biologically mine. But all of them are mine. All of them are part of my responsibility. We need more individuals who are willing to do what they can to support the process of informing and educating our children. And not just our children, but the parents of our children. I met with a mother yesterday evening, Saturday evening, for about an hour and a half. This mother lives in Butler Terrace. She has 3 sons. One's in the 8th grade, one's in the 5th grade, and another one's in the 4th grade. One's in the 8th grade, one's in the 5th grade, and another's in the 4th grade. This mother did not graduate from high school. She finished the 10th grade. Her children don't have the benefit of being able to bring their homework home and having a parent or parents who are capable of assisting them with their homework. They don't see the model behavior of what it takes to be successful in school. Now, this mother wants to go back to school. She wants to get her GED. She wants to go on to college. She has an idea in her head of a career that she would like to attain. It has now become my responsibility to help her to achieve that. For her, yes, but also for her children, so they can see the model behavior of what a successful student looks like, and also a model behavior of what an education can do for you. Here's a mother who's working at a labor-intensive job. She works for one of the hotels. Not a bad job. She works in domestic. She helps to clean. But this mother is not capable of supporting a family outside of the housing project, outside of the welfare system. Now, is she capable of learning? Absolutely. Does she have the desire to succeed? Absolutely. Does she have the resources to succeed? No, not on her own. So to answer your question, what do we need to do to help our children to succeed? We need to take ownership. We need individuals who will say, I want to help. Now, maybe you can't tutor. Maybe you can't provide transportation. And maybe you can't be the one to help our kids to go on different field trips. But perhaps you can help in preparing a meal. Perhaps you can help financially. There are things that you can do. And you said it earlier. The Huntsville Inner City Learning Center is not the only group that's involved in wanting to be a strong, positive advocate for our children. There are others. Get involved. Churches need to get involved. Our church, Twickenham Church of Christ, there are things that they're doing, and I'm proud of that.
But there's more
There's
that
more
could
that
be
we
done.
can.
Now, how did you, Art Leslie, get involved in this? I mean, how did you get a desire? What's your background?
I'm a project kid.
Are you?
I am. You know, I was born here in Huntsville. I was born in Huntsville Hospital back in the, I just won't tell you that, but I
was
lived.
born in a home,
Okay.
in my home, so you even were more advanced than my wife because you were in a hospital to be born. But anyway,
Absolutely.
I didn't know there were any Huntsvillians here.
Yes, and I lived in Bedford Court, in one of the projects. Bedford Court is not there anymore. Went to the Old Council High School. When I was born, my mother and father weren't married. Now they married later on, and we migrated north. But while living in Bedford Court, there was a group of individuals that used to come on Saturdays, a church group that would come and have different programs and different functions for the kids. And I just remember, as a young child, some of these individuals saying to me, and I didn't understand it at the time, Bonnie, that you don't have to be a product of your circumstances.
Amen.
That you can rise above whatever circumstances you found yourself in. And I have been blessed that individuals have taken an interest in Art Leslie. Had it not been for those individuals, my life would not have had the successes and the positive things that have occurred over the years.
What are some of the other successes and positive things that have happened in your life, Art?
Well, there's a wonderful man and wife who, during my freshman year in college, took
So
a very
you
strong
went
interest
ahead,
in-
you
I
got
did.
out of high school
Got out
and
of
went to
high school,
college.
went on
Where'd you go to college?
I went to Michigan Christian College over in Rochester, Michigan. And while in college, I was challenged. I was challenged by some of my classmates who would take a trek to New York City every summer. And they had an outreach program in the inner city community of Brooklyn. Now, that was like the other side of the world to me. But at any rate, this family, Hoy Ledbetter and his wife and their church.
And my uncle, Bede Little, was there.
Oh, is that right?
And he was he's married to my mother's sister, who was a gardener. So we know a lot about that school there.
Okay, Michigan Christian.
Christian.
Okay, and I went to New York City, worked in a program called Camp Shiloh, which our learning center is sort of patterned after. What we would do is we would go and donate a summer, and during the summer we would take these inner city kids, we would conduct Bible classes, we would help them with reading and math and writing, and then we take them on a field trip for a week outside of Brooklyn. But that ignited my passion for helping children, and so I've been doing it, and God bless me.
Were you
with the
able to
opportunity.
finish your college?
No, I finished 2 years, and I'm
Well,
going
that's
back now.
good.
Yeah.
You're going back now.
I'm going back
In
now.
fact, we're kind of interfering with your studying right now, but we thought this was important to
And it
get
is,
out
and
to
I really
the
appreciate the
Huntsville
opportunity.
Inner City Learning Center. Now, tell us how to get in touch with you, to get in touch with the Huntsville Inner City Learning Center. I work with Osher Lifelong Learning, which there's hundreds of people there, all retired from NASA or the Army or whatever, and looking for things to do. So let me transfer that information to them. But so tell us now.
Sure. The phone number that you would call to
Very
reach me
carefully,
is
so-
256
Do you know? I
It's
don't
really
know.
easy.
Okay.
990-1123.
990-1123. Thaddeus Brooks, if you can get that on there, that would be wonderful. And what about an email?
The email address is a little bit longer. It's A, the initial A, then my last name, which is Leslie, Leslie, the number 49, the @ symbol, and it's Comcast.net.
Okay. A. Leslie
49
at
Comcast.net.
Comcast.net. Now this happens to be at Comcast, so
Okay,
he
right.
should be able to do that.
That's right, I've
beautifully.
seen the program.
Okay, and so I see here there's food, transportation, reading, math, vocabulary, homework. So I'd like to hear. I wish Cassie was over here to tell us a little bit about how she's been helped.
And Cassie's in our program. She's in the 4th grade, so this is the first year that she's been eligible to be a part of the program.
Now, what
She's-
does eligible mean?
We work with 4th graders through high school. So
So-
last year Cassie was in the 3rd grade.
3rd grade.
So she wasn't eligible. Now, our plans are next year to expand to 3rd graders through high school. The year after that, 2nd grade. But this will be Cassie's first year.
You
as
want
a
to walk
4th
over
grader.
and see?
Come on, honey.
Art, go behind Mr. Tony, who's running camera, and come right over here. And Miss Cassie, just sit right on his knee here. He won't mind. And you want to tell us a little bit about, have you been helped to be with the Learning Center?
Well, once again,
Rico.
that's right. Her brother did. Now, this is her first year. Cassie's a very good student, and she's
Very
one
beautiful.
of those. She is, and she's one of those children that we need to support and encourage, and we need to give her the capabilities of having access to a computer. Now, she's going to be transported from Morris to Westlawn. She'll have access to computers every day. Now, she has access a couple of times a week at Morris right now for half an hour in the computer lab there, but she's going to have access 4 days a week. And also, she's going to be blessed to be able to take trips outside of Huntsville. That's going to expand her horizon of what's available and what's out there. So,
Art, Leslie, and Cassie, I am so happy for you and for you doing this work.
thank you very
And
much. I'm blessed.
Are you
Really.
like the executive director? Or what
I'm the
are you?
co-founder.
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 Okay. Who was the other person?
My wife, Cynthia.
Oh, okay. A high school from rare exception to minimum expectation. High school graduation. We're so happy. And if you would like to help, you call Mr. Art Leslie at 990
2-3.
123. 123. So it's 123. So it's very easy for you to remember. And don't forget, we had this book, The Dream Makers of Arkansas. We'll now have to have the Dream Makers of Alabama. And Cassie will be one of those. And we're glad that you joined us. Please call Art and let him know Tom McKee that you saw on this program said that Art was his very best friend, and now he is helping him, and he said he is really blessed by this. So you will be blessed also. I'm Bonnie Liphart, along with Tony Liphart, and Art Leslie and Cassie, and bless your heart for watching.